He said Korea would rule the world. In 1871, an extraordinary event in Korean history, mostly unknown to the rest of the world, is the belief that in 1871, God descended to earth in human form. Just as Jesus and Shakyamuni Buddha were human beings, it's understood that beings, who bring about world transformation, can be born as humans, and actively participate in human history. From a Christian perspective, the idea of God appearing under the name Gong Jung San might seem contradictory. However, if viewed as the reincarnation of a Sinsan, an immortal or transcendent individual in East Asian mythology, it makes more sense. In Christianity, God is typically seen as omnipotent, omnipresent, and akin to nature itself. Yet, according to East Asian traditions, the entity who actually dispatches grim reapers, judges the deceased, and sends them to either hell or heaven is not the omnipresent Christian God. Instead, it's Sangjenam, literally highest emperor or Jade Emperor, who is considered the supreme leader of the Sinsan. Since Sangjenam is the leader of the Sinsan, it's conceivable for him to be born as a human. It's even believed that humans, through diligent cultivation and practice, can achieve the status of a Sinsan. This doesn't mean that a being like the Christian God doesn't exist. Such a God is more like oxygen, omnipresent. However, the beings who actively intervene in human history to foster a better world are the Sinsan, and their supreme leader orchestrates these efforts. This leader of the Sinsan has been traditionally called Sangj or Ok Huang Sanj in the East, a concept often depicted in Chinese films. Therefore, the one who answers prayers to heaven is Sangj, the leader of the Sinsan. What Jung San-do, a Korean new spiritual movement, asserts is that this very Sangj was reincarnated as a human. Truly, the world has unfolded, largely as he predicted over 100 years ago. Currently, Jung San-do is the primary organization that propagates and studies the teachings of Gong Jung San Sang-jae. Even before the Po-chunkyeo era, another spiritual movement with roots in Jung San-do, the family of An Kyung Jung, the Jongdu's, a spiritual leader of Jung San-do, has studied and passed down the teachings of Gong Jung San Sang-jae for 4 generations. Most other organizations rooted in Gong Jung San, within the Korean National Association of New Religions, there are many spiritual groups who follow Gong Jung San, learn from and use Jung San-do's books, indicating that Jung San-do is the origin. During the Donghak Eastern Learning Peasant Revolution, there were 3 million followers. Po-chunkyeo later had 7 million. Even after Korea's liberation, the combined membership of organizations dedicated to Gong Jung San Sang-jae easily surpassed 5 million. It's clear Gong Jung San was a widely known figure in Korea, though not globally, yet many still mistakenly believe he was a pseudo religion leader in Korea. It's worth noting that pseudo religion often refers to something similar but distinct. However, the contents of Gong Jung San Sang-jae's claims were entirely novel. For example, 125 years ago, he was among the first in the world to greatly elevate the status of women, and advocated for the abolition of the slave system. When Korea was poorer than many African nations, he prophesied that Korea would become the wealthiest country in the world, and that people worldwide would come to learn the Korean language Hangul. He also foretold events like the Japanese colonial period and the Korean War. Furthermore, he spoke about future events that are still unfolding today, all over a century ago. If you're curious, I recommend reading Jung San-do Dojin. It's available on Amazon.